Hey, how's it going, guys? Hope everything's going well. I want to do this quick video, and it's regards to the Federal Reserve keeping interest rates at 25 to 50 basis points. This is no surprise. The reason is the Federal Reserve guys were scared of Brexit, and they weren't too fond of the jobs report earlier on, and partly could have been due to the Verizon strike. So, that being said, you have to look at the fact will Britain leave the EU? I told you a few months ago I felt Britain would leave the EU. Polling shows that more Brits want to leave than they don't want to leave. But you have to remember the polls are pretty tight. 55% want to leave last time I checked, and then around 45 don't want to leave. My opinion is if it's a very close race, it's going to be rigged. And that's how politicians act. A lot of these votes are rigged. But the Brits, in my opinion, should vote to leave because the EU is a complete disaster and a joke. The EU wants to impose all these rules and regulations that they've already imposed on other European countries on Britain. And what we see right now, you want to look at one example, is the refugee crisis. I feel sorry for the refugees, don't get me wrong. I mean, when your homes are bombed, you're living in violence, right? It's a difficult situation. Now, that being said, if you're going to bring in these individuals, would it make sense to bring it into a different culture, like in Europe, where there, are no jobs, is a welfare state, and you have individuals from a different culture, and you're trying to mix them in between? We're not talking about a small number, we're talking about a large number. And because of this, it's going to create a clash of cultures, and it already has. And even the Dalai Lama, a religious figure, is saying that this is ridiculous. You shouldn't bring that many refugees into Europe from the Mideast. And it's going to lead to more problems than it's going to help people out. And obviously you want to help people out, but this is not going to do that. And what's even more ridiculous is that the EU is going to charge countries over 100,000 euros, I think it's more, if you don't accept refugees. So it is a difficult time. It is a crazy time. This is ridiculous. And then the EU wants to impose other rules and regulations. You want to talk about individuals trying to share links on social media. The EU is talking about taxing that. Do you know how insane that is? I mean, I talk about the craziness of Obama, the conservatives who call themselves conservatives, how leftist they are, man. Europe is even more crazy than what I see here in America, which is insane. Now, what's even more insane, more ridiculous, is that Draghi is buying high-yield bonds. And this is what mainstream economists will call deflationary, right? It's negative interest rates. That does not stimulate growth. You look at Japan, look at their stock market since Abe said, I want to take rates negative, right? The yen has appreciated, rates have gone down, and ultimately it's going to blow up in their faces, probably in the bond market. First stocks, then bonds, and then they're going to devalue their currency, in my opinion. Same thing you want to look at Europe. This is going to blow up in their face. And now getting back to Brexit, even if these guys don't leave Britain, or even if they don't leave the EU, guess what? There's banks that are in trouble. I mean, look at the stock price of Deutsche Bank. That trend line does not look pretty. You want to look at Credit Suisse, that stock price is not too great at all. And the technicians that I've been following, they're bearish on these stocks. And ultimately, when you have negative interest rate, that's just going to make things a lot worse. So, Brexit or not, guess what? Europe is in for a store of hell. and ultimately the euro is going to go down, but it's going to be choppy. We've seen choppiness in the euro, and you could say the dollar as well for the past year, just in a tight trading range. I mean, it didn't go above 100, and the low is 93 for the dollar. So that being said, expect more choppiness and volatility, in my opinion. Yep, it's going to be on the rise for the next few years until we figure out all this mess. And then the popular trade is going to come back on, the short volatility, because it's getting off topic, shorting volatility over the past 20 years has been profitable. I don't think it's going to be profitable for the next year, 2 years, because contango is going to go out the door. I think backwardation is going to come into the VIX market. But anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Talk to you later, and I'll do some more videos in the near term. See you.